Oh well, now we gotta prep DoJoe. We gotta prep DoJoe.
No prep needed.
DoJoe.
Welcome. Sitting here on a fine Sunday evening with Mojo, Main Joe, Sunshine, and
HarpJoe.
Yeah. Happy to have you guys watching us or listening to us. If you were watching, I can guarantee you would turn the channel.
Because it's just a bunch of lines bouncing up and down.
The reason is primarily is I'm looking at a jar of peanut butter that could have been here for free.
Welcome to the Two Joes podcast in Mojo's studio.
Oh, that's a cool name, Mojo Studio.
Mojo Studio on a t-shirt.
Thank you. Yeah.
Please purchase down below.
Yeah.
Support the podcast on Patreon.
Sign up,
I'm
subscribe,
sorry. Hey, this is the way it works, man.
And
we need your
love
support.
us.
We're going to try and be as regular as we can, but the more support we get, the more regular we can be.
I don't think the peanut butter was in an attempt to keep you
Does
regular.
peanut butter make you regular? I don't know.
It makes me happy.
Yeah. Oh, I started buying my daughter those Nutter Butters, man. She likes them. Yeah. Who's a Nutter Butter fan here?
Huge.
Me?
Huge.
Yes.
I love Nutter Butter.
Those things are disgusting.
Made with real peanut butter. If you believe that, I have a house to sell you in Miami. It's underwater 6 months of the year, but hey.
Right on.
Memorial Day is tomorrow. Memorial Day. Coming up.
Monday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, welcome to our inaugural
Sunday.
podcast evening.
It's going to be 5 degrees here.
No.
5.
It's very pleasant right now. Sunshine, how do you feel? Is it warm enough right now?
I feel great, thanks.
Good.
I love this kind of weather. Yard work weather. Get a workout weather. I had to hack away at some freaking bush today for like a half hour. My arms are pumped.
I used to do that when I was younger.
Uh-oh.
Used to.
Wait. HarpJoe is wagging his finger. What's up?
HarpJoe.
You said hack away at a bush.
That's what I was referring
I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that.
to. Yeah.
It's the fucking truth. It was a goddamn hatchet, man.
That's
stuff
what,
was tough.
I was about to say that's what he said. But anyway, I'll leave that one alone.
All right, man. I'm with you. That was funny.
So far, listeners, we have gotten sexual and we have been profane and we've used curse words, but we haven't given any of our names yet. We're doing great. We're doing really great up to this point. Nobody knows who we are. Nobody has a clue.
No.
Can they dox us? What does the word dox mean, by the way?
Do we want to go there? Is that what we want to talk about?
I don't know if we do want to.
Are we worried about that? Oh, we can talk about Navy stories, which we mentioned before.
Yes.
And we can talk about DoJoe's concrete jungle.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got the Viet Cong hanging out in my front yard. I do. They're under the sprinkler timer. So,
I'd rather go Navy stories.
Let's go Navy stories.
Yeah.
Wacky, fun, interesting Navy stories. We're up for that tonight. We better, because I'm a little concerned about how regular a guest HarpJoe will be. I'm hopeful, but let's hear him now while we can.
Well, he should actually be announced before he tells us any stories. 20 years in the Navy. Is that accurate, HarpJoe?
Yes, 21 and a half.
21 and a half.
Yeah.
Retired from the Navy.
Yes, sir.
Retired from the Navy.
Very cool.
Currently works something where you're on call. Machinery.
Yeah, aggregate parts, for like the aggregate industry.
Yeah.
Concrete. Anywhere there's cones, it's because my machinery makes the stuff that makes those cones possible.
You mean construction cones?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm thankful for those. Absolutely.
Especially at 7:30 in the morning.
Yep.
Trying to make a right turn on 14.
No, they piss me off. But I'm still thankful for them because they help me get home
they
safely.
make when they're stuck in your wheel well.
I mean, it's like the military, like trying to make everybody's lives better, but being an inconvenience at the same time.
Interesting perspective.
it
Yeah.
is.
Do we want? I think I might want to hear more on that perspective.
Well, this man came from the Navy, And something that our listening audience cannot possibly know is that this man is 6'7",
Right.
and he spent 21 years in the Navy.
Them tight quarters.
Please consider that.
True.
That's an amazing thing.
This man has never slept with his legs straight out on a Navy ship in his life.
No,
He always had them bent.
on the beach. No,
No,
he
and
traveled
the
the
hammocks
world,
in the ships. On those ships, they got to sleep in hammocks in these very close quarters. I'd like to know if he ever was able to stretch his feet out.
What was it like?
Well, so the mattress was 78 inches long. I'm 78 inches long. So I could stretch out.
But you were feeling concrete.
And I could, it was steel.
Steel.
I could touch my head and feet at the base and
Wow.
at the same time. Yeah.
Lucky. That's how you survived 21 years.
So you talk about the funny stories. Okay.
Yeah.
So on my first ship, the USS Tarawa.
Tarawa.
USS
Tarawa.
Yes, sir. Named after the island, amphibious assault ship.
Yes.
Marines land on
Nice.
Tarawa.
A battle of Tarawa.
Yeah.
Major battle. Yes.
So they used to have this thing called general quarters, right? General quarters. All man your battle stations. I don't know if you've ever watched a Navy movie or whatever, but they will bring you to general quarters for enemies in the vicinity, or if there's a major casualty on the ship, right?
Or for practice.
And so this one happened to be a main space fire, a main engine room fire, which
Whoa.
is like
That's serious shit.
So I get up and I throw what semblance of clothes as I have, and I head to my repair locker. And along this hallway, they've got the closed bulkhead doors, like with the round steering wheels, right?
Like you see in all the movies.
Watertight doors.
Yeah,
and then in between those, they have these kind of neat, what they call knee knockers, right?
Oh, shin knockers.
Yeah, shin and, in my case, head knocker, because I was running at a full bore, and I got through the first two knee knockers, but I forgot about the head knocker on the third one.
Lights out.
Woke up in the medical ward.
Oh, dude.
Basically, thank God I can grow hair because I partially scalped myself.
No way. Oh, I've been
laid
in the
myself
Navy ship
out.
before, and I'm only 6 feet tall, and you got to be paying attention. And at full speed, good night.
Yeah, and that was en route to our my first deployment. Our first stop.
So
was,
you were a seaman.
Yeah, a fireman, right? But
Fireman.
Same route.
You had a hash on your sleeve, or one or two?
No, hashes are after 4 years of service. It was my first.
Well, what do you call them? We call them chevrons in the Air Force.
Right, I was.
You call them chevrons?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I was also in the Air Force Reserve, by the way.
Nice.
So
No shit.
I was a staff sergeant. Yeah, E5 staff
Nice.
sergeant in the Air Force Reserve.
Fucking name, man.
But-
that's my neighbor. That's my neighbor, and his wife Sunshine, right over there.
Right. So he, another story, and I'll try to make it brief. But we were en route to Pearl Harbor, right? And it was my first deployment. We get into Pearl Harbor, and we're sitting, and hanging out at Pearl Harbor while the Marine Amphibious Unit shows up to embark on the ship. And
So you're waiting for your crew.
yeah, the Marines.
Yeah.
Well, the crew is there, but we're
Right.
waiting for the Marines there.
Right.
What
The
we
reason
call-
you exist to support the Marines.
The passengers.
Yeah. Well, okay. Is that what you call them? They probably didn't like that too much.
Passengers, right?
That was true in Napoleon too. In those times.
So
That-
some of our crew would get a little bored, including members of my own division. And unfortunately for me, I was on duty that night and wasn't out in town in
Having fun.
Honolulu, Waikiki, which is
Beautiful.
wow, holy crap.
Yeah.
Right. On duty, duty electrician, report to the quarterdeck, right? And so I'm the duty electrician, and I saunter up to the quarterdeck, and there's two of my shipmates, division mates, standing in underwear, dripping wet, with the MPs and Shore Patrol next to them, turning them over to me. And I'm like, do you mind, kind of let me know what they were doing? And so one of them kind of reluctantly said they tried to swim to the Arizona Memorial.
Pretty bored. Maybe they needed a workout.
They got to work out. The patrol let them get halfway before they drew
I
their,
like that patrol. That's the way to do it.
before they drew the M16s on them and said halt, and not really caring if when they halted they sank.
Can you tread?
Just before they sank, they latched them into the boat and brought them back to the ship.
Why does the Italian Navy have glass bottom boats?
Do I want to know?
The rest of the Navy.
Yeah, they can see the old Italian Navy.
Oh, man.
There you go.
Yeah, tell me you've heard that one, HarpJoe. Have you heard that one many times?
Yeah, I was like, why does the new Polish Navy have,
Yeah.
Same.
So they can see the old,
Polish Navy? Yeah, that was one I was introduced to.
So
I got a question.
yes.
DoJoe, have you ever served in the military?
No.
Just never interested, never needed to, always had a job, everything good?
I was never sober enough.
Oh. The dark side of the Two Joes podcast.
Do you see why we stay anonymous now?
I will say, after my time you were easily sober enough.
I've heard stories, dude. I've heard stories about Air Force pilots.
You'd have done just fine.
Dude, I had so much fun in the Air Force. It was crazy fun.
It would have, yeah.
You'd have been.
It might have been the death of him, though, HarpJoe. I don't know.
I've encouraged
hash marks.
both my
This
sons
guy would have had tons of them.
I encourage pretty much everyone I know. I mean, if you're having a hard time finding a job, you need money, it's a great place to learn skills. You're in there with people your own age. It's so much fun. You make great friends and contacts.
Get skills going.
Yeah.
Get serious skills.
GI Bill. After you're done, I did the GI Bill, paid for a lot of my college, almost all of it, really close to all of it.
Wait, they offered you can go to college in the military?
For a while, were you an officer?
No, I was.
You enlisted the whole time? Yeah, there was a time there had a program where enlisted could go into this program and become officers, and I was really tempted. I was tempted by that. But
were you joking on that one, HarpJoe? Kind of a little bit.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, it was.
I was, being kind of flippant there. Sorry.
No, okay. Rule number one on the Two Joes podcast: never say you're sorry, man.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We all make mistakes.
Right.
It's like playing hacky sack. You ever played hacky sack? You can't say you're sorry. You get beamed with the hacky sack.
Yeah, dude, you hit one off the side of your foot. You can't say you're sorry.
My liver's a hacky sack.
Your liver is a hacky sack. That's what DoJoe just said. His liver is a hacky
So back to DoJoe's drinking. You want to talk about it, bro?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Say about
All right.
drinking.
I feel like
My
this
name's
is
DoJoe,
DoJoe.
and
DoJoe had a rough night not too long ago. Maybe it's still lingering a bit. We had a
that's
phenomenal jam. Oh, that jam was fun.
It was a great jam.
And DoJoe was sitting next to me having a good time. And then,
place your
sometimes
bets.
you can get carried away. And next thing we know, DoJoe isn't with us anymore, and it was rough.
I could not get off the tile.
man,
It was so.
The tile was too comfortable.
God.
Couldn't leave the
it's
tile.
cold and refreshing.
It was
I've
so
been-
many things. It was so many things.
Refreshing. I'm sure.
And
Thank you,
the
Tile.
number 50 kept running
Thank
through my
you,
head.
Tile. Thank you for
Yeah,
being
my
so
age.
cold and refreshing.
I can't do this anymore.
Here I'm at 50.
I can't. I got to stop at 4.
As soon as I
I'm
can feel
50.
my cheek off this tile, I'm going to change
I'm
my
gonna
life.
act like I'm 50.
This is perfect. I can only hear it because I have these on. Danny, you're missing out. This is fucking brilliant. This is really funny. This is really good.
It sucked. The next day was a lot of fun.
Well, we can talk about that if you want, but we missed you, dude, and that's because you were there jamming with us, man. We're so
thank
grateful you came. I'm
I
sorry.
enjoyed it all the way up, and
I'm
I don't
sorry.
know what happened. I think it does something with the Crown Royal, and
It's that Diet Coke, dude.
I think
The
what it
lack of
was,
the real sugar.
I was chewing tobacco, and I couldn't spit, so I just kept drinking.
Oh, rough.
Next thing you know,
well,
we're skeetering off into the
Skeeter.
stratosphere.
Slippery road.
Yeah, it was a slippery road.
HarpJoe, what was it like in the Navy? HarpJoe.
Yeah, please
what was
repeat your
the-
question.
What was the drinking like in the Navy? I mean, we talk about how much we drink. You know, we're drinking now. We're partying up right now. And we're talking about the best drinking we've ever done. What was it like in the Navy? If I may, Winston Churchill once described the Navy, the British Navy, as rum, sodomy, and the lash.
Oh, brutal.
Brutal words.
Fuck, I
Those
would
are
join the
brutal
Navy.
fucking words. What was
Please
the
tell me
Navy
it wasn't like that.
He's
Please.
a 20-year man. He's a 20-year man in the Navy. Please be as poetic as you can.
Thankfully, I never experienced the sodomy part.
Wow.
Everything else, I think, what Winston alluded to was pretty accurate. I think. Yeah.
A lot of partying. You saw a lot of partying in the Navy.
That's yeah.
Well, let me spearhead you a little bit. 'Cause,
He's laughing. No, wait, no, stop. He's
okay,
laughing
if
at my
you got a
question
story?
right there.
Or should I prompt you a little bit?
Oh hell yeah! Feel free.
Okay, well, here's my question. Like in the Air Force, we had what they call it, a commissary on base. And then this part might have been separate, but we could go on base and buy a keg. And then the houses were formed in a U shape, right, where the married couples lived, and one of them would be the host, and we'd set up that keg and play football in the middle grass section and just have a wonderful, wonderful barbecue.
I've heard of this.
Fun time. And
I've
we
heard
would
of
do
this.
that a lot. And keg beer is good, and it goes down good, and we got smashed, and it was fun. So on the ship, you can't really go buy a keg. You don't have grass to play football on and frisbee on and hacky sack on. How did it go?
Fuck! I should have joined the Air Force. But
I can shriek some more. I'll shriek some more if you want, listeners.
So no. In all seriousness, so obviously no. On the ship we couldn't drink, but it was a major part of the culture when I first went in, and as my career waned towards the end, it became a major issue, right? Because of all of the alcohol-related incidents there were. But, that was later on. But in the initial stages, I mean, hey, it was pictures of, on base, everybody graduating from RTC or Naval Training Center in San Diego on base, they had that bowling, and at the bowling alley, you buy a pitcher of beer for $2.
People you met.
Yes,
The
yes.
people you met.
And just
Amazing.
freaking hammer,
Yeah.
And, they, at that time, let's just say in the private sector in San Diego, California, there wasn't as much appreciation for military people as there is now. The post-Vietnam
Interesting. Wow.
post-Vietnam era was like, it was like we, quote unquote, didn't win the war, right? And it was just really, it was.
May I echo this? My
Sure.
neighbor, HarpJoe, may I echo what you're saying?
Do you remember those days?
Well,
It was I was young back in those days,
Yeah, very young. I was very young.
but you remember something.
I just remember some vets coming back from major combat
Right.
being treated like dog shit.
Wow.
Right.
And then others coming back from fairly similar combat being treated like conquering heroes. Oh,
Yeah. I mean,
it's
mean-
am I talking Vietnam versus the first Gulf War? What am I really talking here? I don't know.
yeah.
Well, it sounds to me like the pendulum has swung from one extreme to the other, because back then soldiers couldn't catch a break. They were vilified. I mean, like they had a choice, right? But now soldiers are like put on these pedestals and like they can't do anything wrong. And it's like they're
or right.
practically
sometimes.
gods. Really?
Yeah.
Because right now there's these soldiers that are been accused of war crimes and Trump's thinking about pardoning them.
Yeah.
That doesn't sit well with me,
Sit
man.
Me either. I agree with that.
But then maybe I'm just a hopeless romantic. I grew up reading comic books, Sergeant Rock and all that stuff, and he was always this guy with honor and valor, and he did the right thing, man. And he's in a flipping war, and
Yeah.
I mean, there were. I mean, there's a difference between people following orders and then taking matters in their own hands and abusing authority. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I didn't mean to get off on that tangent. But
that was my fault. Sorry.
No,
it was
party
foul.
Kind of a mutual thing. But as far as drinking, yeah, in the military, 18-year-old kid could drink, right?
Yeah.
Utah, you had to be
18?
20. Yeah, I went in when I was 17. I could drink beer. They would only serve hard liquor to someone 21 years old or older.
Probably wise.
Hard liquor.
And that was in California. Unfortunately, I was a nuclear power student, and the nuclear power school was in Orlando, Florida, where the drinking age was 18 no matter what. And, I'm supposed to be able to, study physics and thermodynamics and nuclear blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
As an 18-year-old where the drinking age is 18 and Cocoa Beach is 50 miles away.
Well, that would be tough. I was in Rantoul, Illinois. Granted, we had the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana close by, which we did party at a lot in those bars around there, but it's not like having a keg in the common area.
Fighting in line.
Yeah. I had an orange hat.
Nice.
Can I bring up one subject that I'm just dying to get people's input on? And HarpJoe, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but we've talked about your Navy experience, your experiences in the service of our country. Where did your harp playing come from? Where did your harmonica playing come from? Where did that start?
Minds
how old were you? How old were you when you first picked up a harmonica? And then how old were you when you realized, shit, I can do some good shit with this.
Harmonica's
I can make some good noise.
Very popular instrument with the military because they're so portable and they sound so great.
Yeah.
So that's the answer was I was in the military, and on that first ship, my second ship was actually
Tarawa. You said Tarawa earlier.
Right. So I did service on the Tarawa for 5.5 years, got out of the Navy for 3.5, re-enlisted, and ended up on the Dixon, USS Dixon, which is submarine tender. There was a very close friend in that division that I talked about that had got disbanded later on in a previous podcast.
Was he on the submarine?
No, he was in the same division, but he was like a mad harmonica freak, but he loved the blues. I mean, he introduced me to Muddy Waters and all that stuff, and
what a friend.
Howlin' Wolf and all that stuff.
Here we go.
And but the thing was, he wanted to play, but he never, you know how those guys learn a few riffs on a guitar, but they never cross that threshold into holding a full song. Yeah. Well, that was him. He just kind of and he
could bend a note.
I don't even remember if he could bend a note or not. But I just picked up and I said, I did a little research. There wasn't YouTube back then or anything. I just researched books and stuff.
At a library.
But main thing I did was just listen to songs and see if I could play along with the song.
That's it. Wow, you got a magical.
That's all it is.
He's got some people have that ear. Some people have that ear,
and I'll tell you,
and it can be developed to a degree. But
I did. I learned how to go from the whole Alanis Morissette thing.
I just knocked my headphones off my head because in a practice podcast we told that story. It was so funny. No, it's in the practice podcast. Become a Patreon member. Let him finish the story.
We're fine.
To being able to play a single note at the same time, and then realizing that you have to draw to bend a note, and then realizing that a note of a harp is actually a cross harp from the actual key that everybody's playing in, and all that stuff, and then just experiment, and then just what was cool was on the ship, everybody was watching MTV or CMT, right? Mm-hmm. And back then they were all music videos, so music was playing all the time. So I could and the one I finally figured out I could kill it on was
kill it.
Travis.
What do you mean kill it?
On the harp? On the harp? Actually go off and play along while they're doing the main the verse. And then when they get the chorus, I could just go off and do my own thing. And it was on like Travis Tritt.
How do you pick the
Travis
key?
Tritt. What song? Because I'm learning this fucking song.
Trouble.
Trouble? Trouble?
Yeah.
Travis Tritt, Trouble.
Yeah. Here comes Trouble.
We're learning that fucking song.
And but you'll get the drift, right? Because you're like, do. And another great example of a harp jam like that is Ain't Coming Up Till the Sun Goes Down by Garth Brooks, right?
Song number 2.
And there is actually a harmonica player on that song, and listen to that guy play.
I will. Okay, cool. I do appreciate a good harp. I'll
listen to that.
I got 4 in my bag right over there. I can't even.
But I mean,
I can't even hold candle to you.
Oh, stop.
But I love the harp, and like that guy you mentioned earlier who played for Blues Traveler.
Yeah, John Popper.
So fun to listen to him play. He's amazing.
And another person is Stevie, and you don't realize it, but Stevie Wonder plays a chromatic harp, and he's in so he does Isn't She Lovely, right? And he goes do, but
Isn't she wonderful?
I've got a story.
But there's Elton John's. I guess that's why they call it the blues.
Yes, I love that song.
So the harmonic in it, that's Stevie Wonder, right? And
right out of that,
there's another song by Sting called Brand New Day. Right? Yeah, you guys heard that.
Maybe. I'm not that familiar with that
Stevie
one.
Wonder. That's Stevie Wonder, too.
I
mean, that's the best harmonica player on
Stevie Wonder.
planet.
I have a Stevie Wonder story. Today, my daughter and I were talking about how she thinks American Idol is lame. Because I've been watching American Idol lately, and I've learned a couple good songs off of it. I played one at the jam the other night, and DoJoe texted me and says, I want to learn that song, and it was Broken by Lovely the Band. Do you remember that one at all? Maybe. Anyway, my point is that I was telling her about one of my favorite YouTube channels is that Corbin, the guy who does the Tonight Show.
James Corden.
Yes,
James Corden.
he has a show, car karaoke.
Yeah. It's
Something like that.
Enjoyable.
Carpool karaoke. And he had Stevie Wonder on. And oh my God. Check it out if you can. I thought Stevie crushed it. He was so good. Amazing. And he's not like a young man anymore, but oh my God. He is a music note. He's just walking music.
Phenomenal.
Amazing.
Walking music. Enjoyable music. Fun music that you want to see again. Did you see Jimmy Fallon recently?
He likes his music too. Absolutely.
He did the.
I like his side band.
He had the Who on recently.
Wow! Recently,
it was Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend, and they played "Won't Get Fooled Again" using elementary instruments.
Yes, he does that all the time. It's like a segment.
Yes,
that's cool.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
They pounded it through, and it lasted.
Epic.
It lasted at least 3 minutes.
That's so cool.
And it was
I'll have to look that one up
music.
for sure.
They
Man.
do. Metallica does the Enter Sandman with that too.
No way!
Really?
I gotta check that out. That out.
On Fallon, on Jimmy Fallon.
That same thing.
That skit, the same segment.
Wow.
That's a regular segment. They've done like multiple.
Ding, 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 ding.
Like a kid Fisher Price xylophone, you know. That's great.
Hey, I want to ask. I'm going to call someone out. DoJoe.
Yeah, I'd like to switch it over to DoJoe a little bit too myself.
I'm good.
Because
I'm
I'm
enjoying hearing
going to
guys
bring you
talk.
in though, because we talked about how he got started on the harmonica. It was an awesome story. Loved that story. DoJoe, you play a really good guitar. How did you get started in guitar? Where did it all come from?
When, where? Yeah, when, where?
When and where did I play a really good guitar?
Start
That's a good
guitar.
question.
You fucker.
No, I started because I wanted to get my kids playing. And that's
So how old were your kids at the time?
12 and 9.
And how old were you?
40.
Something.
Something like that.
he was
Yeah.
And
like,
so
he was
why
my
did you think
age.
that would be a good idea?
I like the way that the musicians communicate. They don't stutter and they go right economically to a point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's a perspective I've never entertained.
Well, if you listen to a musician speak, typically they've worked through the lyrics to a point where they're singing about it. But even if they're just talking about their music, they do it well. Whereas if you listen to other artists, maybe an architect or whoever, they'll stutter and they'll try and project virtue as opposed to just talk about what they're producing. Musicians never do that. They've got passion about what they're speaking.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect, dude. Well done. Well said.
No.
Well said.
So you learned the guitar.
Yeah.
And did you take lessons? Did you teach yourself?
No, God, no. No, I
never took a lesson. Yeah.
I did take a lesson once.
It was
and the guy was a putz. He was a putz.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't take
So how did you
lessons.
teach yourself? Did you buy books?
No, YouTube.
YouTube was around then. Okay.
Yeah, how about you?
You're a young whippersnapper.
How about you?
No, it's not time for my story yet.
I
You're not
think
getting
I'm
off that
older than
easy.
you.
You're not getting off that easy. Back to you.
We're on DoJoe.
Back to you.
We're on DoJoe.
So you started watching YouTube videos. Did you have a favorite? Can you recommend anybody?
No,
Marty.
Marty Schwartz.
Marty, yes. Check Joe. Joe introduced me to him. I like him very much. I think I'm a subscriber.
I liked him.
I
at the
learned 2
beginning
songs
and
from
then-
him.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that, man.
He taught me a Prince song. I didn't know I could do Prince. I could do that.
I'm not a Marty Schwartz guy anymore.
Okay, I don't listen to him a lot either, but
Sunshine.
there was a time for him. So back to DoJoe. We're about to wrap it up. This is a really long podcast, by the way, and I'm proud of you guys. Yeah. Thanks for hanging with us. I just want to wrap up the DoJoe guitar segment. So you're watching YouTube videos, you're teaching yourself guitar chords and all that, and that's pretty much how you did it, huh? Is that how you learned Norwegian Wood, your trademark song?
Well, yeah, actually, in a funny story along with that is I bought a Gibson, my high-end purchase.
Kind of like the B.B. King
music.
style guitar?
J45,
love
the
those things.
the workhorse.
Classic.
And I figured there was a lot of reasons as to why I bought it, but Mitch heard me play it for the first time, and he named my guitar Grimace, because that's what he did whenever he heard me play it.
Is that
It's
true?
Not true. I dispute that immediately.
That is
not
true, pal. You have
Grimace,
selective-
no Grimace. No.
Oh, thanks for joining us, guys. Oh, man, what a podcast. I think this is a new record. 32 minutes we're into this. It might be a little shorter after editing, but I think we did pretty damn good. I'm proud of you guys. Thanks for hanging with us.
Wonderful.
Thank you. If you listen to this whole podcast, make a comment below. Let me know. I'll be very impressed.
We
Adios.
will respond. We will be with you. See you next time. Thank you again.